You know, usually I only teach in the morning, so as I'm putting this on my ear, what I want to say is good morning, but it's not the morning. Briala's away at a training, so I'm just here for her this week, teaching tonight. I'm Lisa, if you haven't met me before, and I'm usually teaching in the morning, so here I am. Some new things that we have coming up at the studio are a really cool fall, and this I'm so excited about, I just want to make sure to tell you about it. A 3-part event called Love Your Selfie, No Edits. And it's a project created by one of our teachers who typically teaches around noon, Julie. It's a 3-part event. One is a national event that will take place at F&M on September 27th, and it's a scale smash. Then after that, yeah, it's actually literally smashing the scales you weigh yourself on in your bathroom. And then after that is an 8-part body image series. It'll happen on Sunday nights. It's 1 hour. And if you've ever attended one of our 40 days programs, it's much like that. But this one is all about body image awareness and self-esteem. And then finally, on November 1st at the Ware Center, speaking in the evening for 90 minutes is one of my teachers. Not my asana yoga teacher, but a leadership teacher. Her name is Suzanne Conrad, and she is so amazing in helping people to create visions, set goals, create happiness in their lives, and the tickets are only $15. I anticipate that they'll sell out rather quickly, so if you're interested in that, I encourage you to go and take people with you. I think it's a great opportunity to take people who you'd like to bring to yoga, but maybe don't want to come in and do the class yet. This is so not threatening. It's just sit in a chair and listen to some speaking. So if you have questions about any of those things afterwards, you can always ask me. But let's get started. We'll start in child's pose. Toes together, knees open. Stretch your hips back to your heels, bring your forehead to the floor. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale through your mouth and let the weight of your body settle down into your mat. It's early in class, and at this point, the most important thing you can do is start to turn on your listening. So listening not to me, but listening to your body and how it's feeling in a pose and how you can customize the pose to customize your own practice. One of the best tools to put in place right away at the beginning of class is your breathing. Create slow, steady, deep rhythmic breath. Allow your breath to become full and vibrant and such that you are able to hear your neighbor breathing, share your breathing with them, and bring yourselves into sync together. No birds fly in a flock because as a group, they're able to travel a lot further on just the same strength. Alone, that strength just won't take them as far. So work with your breathing to connect with the people around you and work like a flock. With your next inhale, bring yourselves up into downward facing dog, and as you arrive, start to check out your body, check out the pose. Bend one knee, straighten one knee. Listen to your body and what it needs, and then respond with a customized pose. You can shorten the base to be more stable. You can lengthen the base to have a little bit more freedom to stretch. Line your feet up so that they're parallel to one another, and a good key indicator is that your heels are hiding behind your toes. I love to sway my hips from side to side and start to stretch out the side of my torso. To that end, raise one leg into the air behind you. Stretch it up and back. Then bend your knee and bring your heel to your hip and turn your hips open to the right side of the room. Now wake up your lifted foot. Spread out your toes. Maybe roll your ankle around and bring attention and awareness and liveliness to your lifted foot. You can return your right foot to the floor. Next, your left leg lifted up into the air behind you. Bend your knee, bring your heel to your hip, and turn your hips open to the left side of the room. Stay committed to your slow, steady, deep, rhythmic breathing. Anything in your body that feels really hard, that feels like it's too stressful, not quite right, bring some attention there, bring some breathing there, and see if you can't add ease to your practice. Okay, return your right foot to the floor. Look to your hands and walk forward to your hands. Line your feet up so that they're parallel to one another and hip width distance. With an inhale, lift up halfway and stretch your body long like you're reaching yourself out of your hips. Then exhale, hang down to the ground. Create your feet so that they're strong. They're pushing into the ground. Yet your toes, those you can spread out and allow them to rest softly on your mat. Move your fingertips off of your mat to the right, and if they're not quite on the ground just yet, you could just sway to the right, maybe rest your fingertips on a block. Just anchor them somewhere so that as you breathe, your breath would have your left side body start to open up. Anything you don't need right now, like holding your head up, squeezing your shoulders to your ears, anything you don't have to be doing, stop doing that. Let that become easy. Next, walk your hands to the left side of your mat. That's it. And if you find in your corner of the room a need for more breath, you just be the leader and bring breath into your corner of the room. I think one of the most wonderful things about yoga is you have the opportunity at any point to just start again. Start breathing again, start working again. Okay, come back to the center, walk your feet together. Make your legs really strong, so just squeeze them together, push them down into the mat. And then your spine, your torso, it can be easy. Put your hands on your thighs and bring yourself rolling. Just lift one bone at a time, come rolling up to standing. Until you've unwound, you're standing the whole way up, then you can lift your head, roll your shoulders back. Inhale and sweep your arms overhead and stretch up out of your feet. Exhale, bring your hands into prayer position at your heart and pause. And fix your gaze on one point at the front of the room. Have a sense of really just being here in this space with these people. Set an intention for your practice. Come from peace, come from love, possibility. And then 3 times, we'll chant Om as a way of starting to open ourselves up, to share ourselves out into the room. Take a deep breath in. Reach up as you breathe in, stretch for the ceiling, and then just maybe an extra inch back, fold down to the floor as you exhale. With your next inhale, lift up halfway, legs strong, body long. Exhale, step back to a high plank position. Utilize your knees on the ground if you'd like. Go to a low plank position. Inhale, come to upward facing dog. Straighten your arms, make your legs strong. Exhale, move to downward facing dog. Take one deep breath in. Exhale and empty your breath completely. Then look to your hands and walk up to your hands. Bring your feet together. Halfway lift as you breathe in. Fold down as you breathe out. Stand up and inhale. Reach for the ceiling and then to the wall behind you maybe. Fold to the floor as you exhale. Don't worry about it. Halfway lift, inhale. Low push-up as you exhale. You can step back, you can jump back. Inhale, upward facing dog. Strong arms. Exhale, downward facing dog. One deep breath in. A full breath out. Look to your hands, move up to your hands, step or jump. Halfway lift and fold down. Now chair pose. Sit back like you're reaching for a chair, arms up and fold to the floor. Halfway lift with an inhale. High plank to low plank as you exhale. Upward facing dog, breathe in. Downward facing dog, breathe out. Step your right foot forward for warrior one. Turn your back foot flat. Then reach up and back. Hands to the floor. Either low push-up position or just go to downward facing dog. If you went to low push-up, it's upward dog, then downward dog. Now your left side. Step it forward. Turn your back foot flat. Reach your arms up and back. Hands to the floor, low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe together here 3 times. Inhale. Exhale and empty. If it takes you a little bit more time to do the stepping forward for the lunges, know that we'll always meet up back together here in this downward dog. Now empty out the air on this breath, then move up to your hands. With your feet together, lift up halfway. Fold down. Chair pose, sit back, reach your arms up, fold to the floor. Halfway lift, high push-up to low push-up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot, lunge, warrior one, arms up and back. Bring your hands down, low push-up. That's it. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Left side, step. Make your legs strong, back foot, press it down, flat, reach up. Then your hands down, low push-up. Upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. Work with your breath together here. Know that today you'll have exactly the right practice, the one you need to have, as much as you're able to turn on your listening to bring in your curiosity and customize your practice. Let's take one more breath in. Stay here as you exhale and empty your breath. Now raise your right leg into the air behind you. As you exhale, bring your knee in and see if you can touch it to your nose. You'll want to shift your armpits over your wrists. Try again. Reach your right leg up and back. Then knee in, touch it to your nose. See if you can kiss your knee. One more time. Reach up and back. Then knee to your nose and step your foot forward between your hands to crescent lunge. That means you'll be on the ball of your back foot. Arms in the air. You have the opportunity to modify this pose by bringing your back knee to the ground if you'd like. Whichever way you choose to do it, work with your hips square to the front of the room. A handy little trick is in your back foot to think to shift some of your weight to your back foot's baby toe. That will help square your hips. Once your hips are square, your legs are deep and strong, then reach up to the ceiling, up and to the back of the room. It's a back bend, and there should be no pinching in your lower back, just lifting and freedom. Stretch up, then hands to prayer position and look forward. Now twist to the right. Anchor your left elbow outside of your right knee. Lunge deep down into your legs. You can open your arms. Maybe your forearm rests on your front leg. Maybe you reach all the way down to the floor. You can wrap your top arm behind your back. Now work together for 3 more breaths. Every time you inhale, lift your chest up off of your front thigh. When you exhale, turn toward the ceiling. Here's the last one. Stay for the whole exhale. Spin around to warrior two, face the left side of the room. Use your breath to carry you somewhere, so the inhale can carry you here to warrior two. Bend your front knee a lot and come into a place where you can really feel your front leg working. Once you identify that level of work, then make your back leg work just as hard. A lot of times in this pose, your back leg can be kind of asleep, so challenge yourself. Once your legs are really fired up and working, keep that, and then move this pose into extended side angle. Bring your fingertips to the block or floor in front of your right foot. Keep your lunge deep. It'll be really tempting to let your lunge go away a bit. Your front leg is the leg that it's easy to tell where the work is. Make your back leg match the effort of your front leg. Whatever that means for you. Now wrap your top arm behind your back. Pull the pit of your belly into your body and up to your chin. If you'd like to fully bind this pose, you're welcome to take that as well. Now we have 3 more breaths here. Chest up off of your front thigh and turn open. So you'd want to probably come in here. 1 more breath. There you go. Hands to the floor, very gracefully now, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. I think it's helpful here to take a sigh. So deep, deep breath in. And exhale. Does that feel good right now? I think this is a challenging part of the series, but it's building so much vitality, so much energy. Other side. Raise your left leg into the air. Inhale. As you exhale, knee into your nose, round like a Halloween cat. Right, left leg up and back. Knee into your nose and suck your ribs into your body. One more time, leg up and back. Knee to your nose, step forward, crescent lunge, arms overhead. Always start with your foundation. Create a really sturdy, powerful foundation. So lunge down and get very intentional with your feet. In your front foot, press down on the four corners. See if you can just lift your toes up, stretch them out, and soften them. In your back foot, move your heel toward the right side of the room another inch. Now that your legs are in place, reach up to the ceiling like you're pulling yourself out of your legs, and then back. Stay lifted. Reach up out of your hips and back. One more time here, up and back. Now hands to prayer position, look forward. Twist to the left side of the room, right elbow, left knee, anchor yourself. Once you've created the anchor, then power up your back leg, fire it up, squeeze your muscles to your bones. Open your arms, reach your bottom arm down and your top arm up. You can bind. Halfway would be your top arm behind your back. Fully reach under your front leg and hold hands outside of your right hip. Then 3 breaths to work together. Inhale, get lighter, lift high. Exhale, turn your chest to the ceiling. 2 more. Stretch your body out long. Last one. Stay for the whole exhale. When it's gone, inhale, spin around to warrior 2. Land as you exhale. Deep, deep lunge. Your hips, your ribs, your shoulders, they all face Africa. Activate your back leg. It's so easy for your back leg to go to sleep and let your front leg do the work here. When you feel like you're sitting in the middle of your legs, not forward to your front leg, but really in the middle of your legs from their extended side angle. Left fingertips to the block or floor at the arch of your front foot. That's it. Now reach up into the air. Wrap your top arm around behind your back. So easy to hang forward of the pose, pull the pit of your belly in, pull your ribs in, be on top of your legs. Here's the last breath, chest up off of your front thigh, turn it to the ceiling and exhale. Hands to the floor, low push-up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Deep, deep breath in and exhale. Breathe in and breathe out. Once more, breath in. Exhale, empty. Look to your hands, move up to your hands, feet together. Halfway lift, fold down. Make chair pose happen. Sit back, reach your arms up. Bring your hands into prayer position. Twist toward Africa. Extend your left arm down long between your knees for the floor. Reach your right arm into the air and wrap it behind your back. Then reach through your legs. Hold hands outside of your left hip. If you need a strap or a towel, you can use that. But see if you can create the bind. Then bend your right knee as much as your left. We'll take 3 breaths. Keep your bind together. Chest up and turn your chest to the ceiling. 1 more. And turn, roll your right shoulder behind you. Good, unfold and hang down. Open your feet hip width distance. Hook your big toes with your middle and index fingers. Think about your hips in the back being as broad and wide as they can be. Your legs strong, and all the way down your spine, through your neck, to the crown of your head, ease. Every pose has a balance happening of effort and ease. Sometimes a pose is pretty simple and we don't find the balance of effort and ease. Sometimes the pose is super challenging, we don't find the balance of effort and ease. Every pose, there's a balance of effort and ease. Release your toes, bring your feet back together, squat down, arms up in the air, chair pose. We'll twist the other way. Bring your hands into prayer position. Twist toward the left side of the room. The sneaky part of this pose is your left knee. See that it bends just as much as your right knee. Then open your arms. Bottom arm to the floor, top arm to the ceiling. Bind halfway is just your top arm going behind your back. Fully reach between your knees and hold hands outside of your right hip. Stay deep in your legs. Now the effort of the next 3 breaths is to lift your chest off of your thighs and turn it to the ceiling, creating a difference in your shoulders. Create a difference in your shoulders. Here's the last breath. Open up the length of space on your front side of the spine. Okay, unwind, hang to the floor. Open up your feet hip-width distance. You can stand on your hands this time. If your hands don't quite make it underneath of your feet, just reach for your feet. Wide hips, broad, wide hips. You got it. You can release your feet, bring your feet back together, come all the way up to standing, sweep your arms overhead. Arms just up and overhead, stretch up. Eagle pose, right arm under your left arm. So twist at your elbows, cross at your elbows and twist. If you can only just hook, that works too. Or if it's a hug, that works as well. Then squat down. So it might just be the squat. It might be that you wrap your leg. You could rest your toes on the ground or wrap behind your calf muscle. But you do want to try to cross at your elbows. Once you're in the pose, focus your gaze just on one point. Strong, steady, and flappable. Nothing can mess with you in this pose. Balance is easy because you stand at the eye of the hurricane. One more breath. With your next inhale, step out and sweep your arms overhead. Just stretch out. It's like you're wiping the slate clean. Now the left side. Left arm under, squat, left leg over. Left leg over. That's it. Tuck your toes behind your calf if they'll go there. One of the trickiest pieces of this pose is that you might notice probably your abdominal muscles aren't working and it's like your belly's hanging on your front thigh. Just one little new effort. Pull the pit of your belly into your body and up toward your chin. One more breath. Step out, stretch your arms overhead. Hug your right knee into your chest, stand on your left foot, look down at it, check out to see that your heel is behind your middle toe. You can continue to hold your knee, or you can hold the outside of your right foot and extend your leg as far as it will go. If your leg isn't totally straighten, that's fine. But hold on to something, your knee or your foot. Stand really tall with your foot pointing forward. You can just draw your arm bones to the back side of your body so that you can really stand up tall. Open your leg toward Africa. Look and reach toward the left side of the room. Chest up. That's it. Breathe. Slow, calm, steady breath. Bring your leg forward. Switch hands on your knee or foot. And then turn and reach to the back of the room. That'll cover the distance. Come forward, hug your knee into your chest, and then put your foot on the floor. Let's do the other side. Hug your left knee into your chest. Be rigorous with the alignment of your standing foot. It's heel behind your middle toe. It's so tempting to turn it out, but make it be like a hand on the clock facing 12 o'clock. And then pick up your other foot, and if a little dance happens in the time you pick up your other foot, know that you just turned your standing foot out again. Stand tall, leg forward. That's it. Keep it short and hold it with one hand. Yeah, other hand first. Yep. Stand very tall. Good. You can open your leg to the left. Breathe right there. Cute me, Henry. You might like this. Give it a try. See if it works for you. Okay, leg forward. Switch hands. You can switch your hands. Stand up really lean and tall. You can think to press your standing foot down and the crown of your head up. That worked. Good. Leg forward now. You're reaching for the back of the room. That's it. Come forward. Hug your knee into your chest. Put your foot on the floor. Standing bow pose. Wrap your right shoulder behind you, bend your right knee, and hold your shin near your ankle from the inside. So you'll want to feel your shoulder rolling back as you take the grip, rather than your shoulder rolling forward. Start with your knees side to side. Let the front of your right quad muscle just ease itself open, stretch down to the ground. If you feel your shoulder rolling forward, just spin your hand around. Whoops, all the way around. This way. That's it. Left arm in the air. Standing bow pose. Stretch up high, and then start to kick your foot behind you. I think you're flexible enough to go there. You got it. Foot to the ceiling. So press it up to the ceiling. You're all together, collectively going to press the ceiling off of the walls. You got it. Knee behind you. Reach up with your front hand, up with your gaze, kick, and then just very gracefully come right out of the pose, feet down, arms down, switch sides, no extra stuff going on. Left hand, left ankle. Your palm face to the left. Drop your knee down at first to let the front of your thigh stretch out. Catch your breath, then go for it. In the face of a challenge, you're steady. Your breathing is steady, your intention is steady, your effort is strong and balanced. Breath, you're the leader in the room, bring breath. We wouldn't have the same practice if you weren't here. You bring breathing. Okay, last breath, kick up and come down. Tree pose, stand on your left foot, bring your right foot, the sole of it to your left inner thigh or somewhere below your knee, hands to prayer position. It can be so tempting to just lean into your standing leg. Soften your standing knee and make your legs equally strong. As much push in as the sole of your foot gives, bring strength back with your standing leg. Then interlace your fingers, press your palms forward, and reach your palms overhead. One foot down, unlock your knee, Marcy. Arms up. Lift your gaze, your eyes to the ceiling. Lift your chest to the ceiling. Reach up and go back just an inch. Lift up out of your foot. Okay, look forward and switch sides. Are you doing floor yoga? Switch sides, that works. It's all right, yoga on the floor works too. Check out your standing foot. Turn it back to 12 o'clock. Can you make your foot go to 12 o'clock? Try. It'll change how you use the muscles in your legs. It's challenging. The first time you switch into an aligned body, it's challenging because new muscles are working, old muscles need to give the new muscles a chance. Interlace your fingers, press your palms forward, reach overhead. Standing foot, push it down. You reach up out of your feet, look up and back. Gaze goes up out of your foot and back. Good, look forward, bring your foot down, step to the front of your mat. At the front of your mat, take chair pose. Squat down and reach your arms up. Sit deep into your legs, like back into your heels, so that your toes get lighter on the mat. Now work together with 5 really powerful breaths. Yeah, that's it. Sit deep. 3 more. Turn your baby fingers in toward one another. Let your wrists get long. Here's your last breath in this pose. Reach up. Now fold to the floor. Nice job. Halfway lift. Inhale. Step or jump, high plank to low plank. Upward facing dog. Strong legs. This is a back bend, so strong legs. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward to warrior 1. Land in a strong pose. Deep legs. Then lift up so you can bring ease. Where is the ease in your body for this pose? Then turn to warrior 2, face the left. Flip your front palm up. Reverse the warrior. You can bring your back fingertips to your back thigh or wrap them around behind your back. Take your legs deep so that you have an opportunity to pull yourself up out of your legs and make length. Okay, now straighten your front leg. Stretch back even further, then triangle pose. So that looks like your hips moving to the back of the room, your fingertips to the front of the room. Make your side body as long as you can. Then put your right hand on the ground or a block behind your front ankle. If you don't have a block, it could be handy just to put your weight onto your water bottle. Now wrap your top arm behind your back so that your top shoulder has a feeling of melting behind you, your shoulder blade, your top one. See if it could just melt down into the center of your back toward your spine. Let your top shoulder roll open to the person behind you toward Africa. Come up to standing. Turn your feet parallel to one another. Bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, lift your chest up high, lift your gaze, then fold down to the floor. Turn your feet parallel to one another. Stretch your chest, stretch your head down to the floor. If you're confident about your headstand, you could take a headstand here. Otherwise, the work is to stretch your head down toward the ground. Very steady in the headstands. Know that we're taking 3 more breaths. Ease, definitely bring ease now. Last breath, if you're in the headstand, bring your feet back down to the ground. For the rest of you, everyone together now, bring your hands to your hips, come up to standing. Once you're standing tall, turn and face the front of the room. Step your back foot in just enough that you almost have your hips square to the front of the room. Then with your feet pressing into the ground, work your hips the rest of the way square. It'll be helpful not to have your back foot cross behind your front foot, but to leave them open hip width distance. Then hands to your hips. Point your elbows to the wall behind you. Inhale, lift up high. 2 straight legs. Exhale, hinge forward at your hips. So your sitting bones start to reach for the wall behind you. The crown of your head, reach it for the wall in front of you. Bring your attention into the back of your front leg. As you move deeper and deeper into the pose, can you intend that the back, soften that, back of your front leg gets easy. The back of your front leg gets long. Come all the way up to standing, and just bring your left leg forward to meet your right leg at the front of your mat. Sweep your arms overhead, inhale and reach up. Fold to the floor as you exhale. Halfway lift, inhale, high push-up to low push-up. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Step your left foot forward into a lunge, warrior 1. Big lunge, arms up and back. Turn to the right, warrior 2. Your front knee, you'll want to stack that on top of your front ankle. Whichever direction your front knee points in, probably not straight forward, probably more at an angle, your toes need to follow the lead of your knee. Sometimes your toes get a little bossy and they want to point straight forward and your knee's not ready for that. Make your toes follow the lead of your knee. Flip your front palm up, reverse the warrior. That means deep legs. And that way you're able to stretch yourself up out of your legs. Nice job. Keep your backside waist long. That's it, Sam. Nice breath. Stretch up and back. Straighten your front legs. Stretch up and back. Reverse triangle. Then into triangle pose. Left fingertips across the street, hips to the back of the room. Be bold with the stance in your legs right now. There are times to be conservative and times to be bold. This is a pose to be bold. Open the length of your feet up long. If you find that you're kind of reaching for the floor, you might want to give yourself more space at the base of your pose, more length. Keep the breath flowing as you wrap your top arm behind your back and halfway bind the pose. See if with your next exhale you could really melt your right shoulder behind your back. Keep your front body powerful, your abdominal muscles pulling in. It's really helpful to have a place to rest your fingertips behind you. Reach for that. Let your head just move behind you, your top shoulder open. Come up to standing. Turn your feet parallel to one another. Hold a strap wide behind you or interlace your palms. Inhale, lift your chest up high, then hinge forward and let your hands spill overhead. Keep your hands interlaced or use your strap. Unlock the backs of your knees. You might want to check out the alignment of your feet. Keep them parallel to one another. And then bring action, and the action to bring is a sense that your feet might slide together. Make your legs strong as though they were going to slide together. Once you put that much strength into your legs, see how much ease you can allow to happen through the length of your spine, in your shoulders, in your neck. As you become more masterful at your practice, what you become more masterful at is allowing the pose to just flow out of your body instead of making the pose happen. No matter how challenging it gets, you'll still be able to keep your breath flowing. Okay, come on up to standing. Hands to your hips. Turn to face the front of the room. You'll keep your feet open, hip width distance. You'll make it so that your hips are almost square, and then you'll work your leg strength. You'll work your feet on the floor to make your hips square. You can create a box behind your back. You can create prayer pose pointing down. You can create prayer pose pointing up. Those are your 3 choices for your arms. Then lift up tall, really square your hips and hinge. Focus on the idea of your left thigh bone diving back out of your pelvis to the wall behind you as you fold. Some of you, to create balance in the pose, can discover that if you shift your weight a little more into your front foot, you have the ability to drive the balance of your hips. So shift forward. There you go. There should be challenge in both your front and your back hamstring. If you don't experience that, shift around a little bit. Look to create it. Come all the way up to standing. Step your right foot forward to join your left foot at the front of your mat. With an inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Lift up out of your feet. As you exhale, fold down to the floor. Halfway lift, breathe in. High plank to low plank as you breathe out. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Come kneeling down at the back of your mat, just on your knees, for half camel pose. Step your right foot forward. So make 90-degree angles in your knees and in your ankles. Square your body to the front of the room. You can rest your right hand on your right thigh. Your left arm can reach behind you. 3 different choices here. Somewhere in the middle of the road is to reach for your back heel. Needing a little bit of extra support, stack a block tall behind your calf and reach for that. Feeling extra flexible, reach for the crease of your knee. So move your left hand to the position it needs to be in. It might even be that flexibility is dictating you need to put your hand on your hip. So you choose. You have 4 choices, actually. So position your left hand somewhere behind you, and then square your body to the front of the room. Once all that happens, you can just slide your right hand by your cheeks and your ears and reach to the wall behind you. Square your hips. Here's the challenge in this pose. It's tempting to push your right thigh forward out of your pelvis. Suck it back into your pelvis. Square your hips. Keep coming forward and bring this deep into your hips. Right back in there. Yes, that's it. Every back bend requires strong legs, but it also requires a strong abdominal muscle wall so that you are not sinking into your lower back. Last breath, just square your chest to the ceiling, reach up and back, then come out of the pose, chest to the ceiling. Hands to the floor, downward facing dog to stretch. Stretch your spine out. Just stretch back in downward dog. The cool thing about yoga is it's a practice, so every one of you did it right today. There's not doing it wrong, there's not doing it right. You just did your practice, and that was the best thing for it to be. Okay, let's do the other side. Kneel down. Left foot, step it forward. Create the 90-degree angles. Create stability. I find that by turning my toes under my back foot. See if that works for you. To turn your toes under. And then left hand on your left thigh. Your right arm to your hip, to your heel, to a block beside your calf, to your knee crease. Then your left arm, square your body, and slide your left arm behind you, past your cheek so your shoulder stays set, and reach back. Then it's up out of your legs and back that you reach. The limit of your reach is when your fingertips touch the floor behind you. That's it. That's the limit. There are some people that are actually that flexible. Reach up and back. Square your chest to the ceiling. Breathe. That's it. Chest to the ceiling, come up, hands to the floor, downward facing dog, stretch. Walk your knees out, back and forth. Come to the front of your mat and kneel down, knees together. Open your feet hip width distance for hero pose. So knees touch, feet open hip width distance, and your toes point straight back. Many people will need to put a block under your tush to sit on. If you don't have a block, then you certainly are welcome to lean forward, even to take a water bottle and turn it sideways and sit it on it could be a right height. Some of you will sit comfortably on the ground. Your knees should not rise up off the floor. They can come apart a little bit, not wider than your hips, but a little bit. That works too. This is hero pose. Now, once you've positioned your body, sit up really tall. That'll work. That height is going to be good. Forward is the right place, too, for some knees in the room. So to be able to just lean forward is just fine as well. For those of you sitting upright, you can use your fists or your palms, depending on your proportions, to press into the arch of your foot and out to the baby toe side of your foot. Stay tall in your spine. Yeah, so work with your own proportions. Let me have a couple of those, Holly. Let's give him a taller stack and see if it gives him access. Give him one more. See if this works for you, to bring your hips back onto these blocks. It may not, and that's fine, but there are a lot more back here if you want to try to sit up. Okay, come forward. Stretch your legs behind you. You can grab them. Stretch them out behind you. Legs behind you. Okay, come sitting on your tush. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Out in front of you, and roll all the way down onto your back. Really tall, roll down onto your back, pull the pit of your belly in and roll just one bone at a time. There'll come a critical moment where you have to reach your tailbone for your heels. Right when you feel stuck, reach your tailbone for your heels and pull your belly in. Yes, there it goes, all the way down. That's it. Pull your belly in, tailbone to your heels. Okay, bend your knees, feet flat on the floor. Step your right foot off of your mat to the right. And drop your right knee down and in, so your foot goes off of your mat, your right foot goes off of your mat, and then just drop your knee down and in. So if you lifted your head and were to peek down, you'd see a straight line down to your knee. So your knee comes inward toward your mat, yes, while your foot is off of your mat. Holly, if you can just spin around and look for anyone that needs a little help with that positioning. Now, if you feel any discomfort in your right knee, you can raise your hand and we'll help to reposition your body. Whenever we're working on your hips, you shouldn't feel discomfort in your knee. So once your right knee is, you feel that a little, oh, your hip is fine. Discomfort in your hip, no problem. Knee, don't want it. So knee down and in, and you can stay this way. You'll want to keep pulling the pit of your belly into your body and up. Then you can add to the pose by putting your left ankle midway up your right thigh and dropping your left knee to the ground. Down and in. Killing you or okay?
Yeah, that's better. I feel cartilage.
Okay. Nothing's like a little bone rubbing bone.
Yeah.
Just drop it to this block. How's that? Okay. Flex your ankles. So make 90-degree angles in your knees and your ankles. You do. Pull the pit of your belly into your body and up. Yeah, you're good. Just soften and melt your ribs down. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Ooh, go down ribs. There they go. This is one of my favorite hip openers. The weight of your extra foot can just drag your thigh bone into rotation. If you find that you're in the pose and you're not experiencing any sensation anywhere, you can raise your arm in the air and we'll be happy to help you discover sensation. Sensation would be in your hip, And you might call it a different word than sensation. You might say like it hurts, it's pinching, it's uncomfortable. All that counts. How are you doing now? This knee? Yeah, we don't want that. Might want to try a little variation on the placement. Try now. Better? Okay, let's switch sides. I might have to pick a harder hip opener. That left you plenty of time for chatting. Switch sides. Don't worry, I have harder ones up my sleeve if you need them. Switch sides. Switch sides. Now your left knee drops down and in. Add your right foot midway up your left thigh to intensify. Yes, many of you are going to find the load lightens on your left hip. You feel a little arching come into your body. Keep pulling your pit of your belly in and up to minimize that. Where is it hurting? Okay, that's part of what we're aiming for, but we don't want to do everything in one day. We're aiming for challenge there. So keep this in. And can you relax your shoulders? Yeah, a couple big exhales. Yeah, breathing is good. Any kind of breathing will work. I'll take any kind of breathing. How's your back feeling? I used to teach this pretty older lady private lessons many years ago. She looked like she was going to bring you a tray of cookies, kind of gray hair bun. And when she started, she had terrible vertigo, so it was really challenging. There wasn't a lot she could do, but she now takes regular classes. And she would always say when she did this pose that it made her sinuses drain. I've never experienced that, but I think it seems like a good idea. Keep softening. You are a hard worker. Relax your shoulder. It is. Okay. No, you're good. You're doing fine. Make your shoulders just be easy. They don't have to work. Okay, we all finished with that one? Okay, come on out. Come on out. Take happy baby pose. You can hold the outer edges of your feet, pull your knees back to your shoulders, then rock from side to side. Dead bug is the still one. Happy baby's the rocking one. Make it work for your body. Flexed feet, side to side. Okay, you can hug your knees into your chest. Choices. Viparita Karani is one choice, and that's flat on your back with your legs straight up in the air. Or plow pose is the next choice. That would be where you roll your feet overhead to the floor behind you. So you choose what's best for your body. Probably those with the fused spines are going to stay in Viparita Karani with a block under their hips. Feet all the way overhead for plow pose if that's the right pose for you. If that works for you, and once you get your feet overhead, rock side to side and get your arms deep behind you, underneath of you. They become what you're standing on, not your neck. Yes, your head is on the floor, but keep your neck long and easy. Before you go anywhere, take a breath in. And as you exhale, let your inside shoulders just get softer. Then you can stay in plow pose or take your feet overhead to shoulder stand. Breathe, just breathe right here. If you've ever come on Sundays at 11, we have a restorative class. It's the only time of the week we have it, but it's such a fantastic class. And one of the things that I learned in that class is that, because they hold poses for a little bit longer than we would in a Vinyasa class, but is that you take the first breath or two to create the pose. To just set it up, I'll take these way back there, to work on your foundation, then work on your alignment, to create choices around the pose. And then once the choices are created, you've been thoughtful, the next step, the next rigor in the pose is stillness, is to stay. It's one of the really tricky things that yoga teaches, meditation teaches the ability to stay inside of a challenge. So once you've been really thoughtful and then you're left with nothing to fix, there's nothing to do, the rigor is staying in stillness. bring 3 more breaths of stillness, of staying. When you finish the 3rd breath, the shoulder stands can return to plow. You can take it into deaf man's pose, which is where you bend your knees by your ears and hold your feet. Then finally, hands on the floor behind you, so that's not on the foot side of you right now, and bring yourself out of the pose, roll out of the pose, just one bone at a time. Once you reach your flat back, hug your knees into your chest. Rock yourself up to a sitting position. Stretch your legs out long in front of you. Many of you would like to elevate your hips now. You can do that by folding up your mat, using a towel. Some of you a block. A block could be a little bit high. Then flex your toes so they're pointing up to the ceiling. And as you look at them, pull your baby toes back towards your face. And then sit tall. Do whatever wiggling around you need to do to get your body sitting up really tall. I'll say this, if you feel like you're sitting here and you're wearing like a tight pair of jeans, you're sitting behind your sitting bones onto your squish, then soften your knees. Make it so you can sit up really tall. Really, really tall. So draw yourself up out of your lower back. Toes to the ceiling. So I once took a class in a different style that moves very slowly called Iyengar, and I was taking it from this elderly South American man. And this is a really serious group of yoga people in that style of class. And they were doing this pose like for 10 minutes. And then you did things like holding your arms out in front of you too, but sitting up tall. He came around and did all these like cool chiropractic adjustments as you're sitting there, but like it's a long time to hold a pose like this, sitting up tall. Sit way up out of your sitting bones. And it was so hard, all you could do was just laugh a little bit. Now the next job is to hinge forward toward your toes. So you may or may not reach your toes. If you do reach your toes, hold on the outer edge of your foot. So you're pulling your baby toes back. And maybe use your thumbs to push the knuckle of your big toe forward. Instead of concentrating so much at your feet, can you experience the sense of reaching your thigh bones behind you? A strap would be a great tool for you if you can't quite reach your feet, or even your hand towel will make the difference. Let me make this even better for you. There you go. See, it'll just change your alignment by the pulling. Next, you can drop your chin to your chest and really indulge the fold forward. Come all the way up to sitting and lean back. Lean back on your palms, so just lean back like you're lounging, fingertips pointing toward the bricks, and open your shoulders. So just roll those behind you. Stretch your legs long in front of you, squeeze them together, and point your toes to the floor. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, hips up to the ceiling, feet flat on the floor. Can you do it with straight legs? It's a challenging pose. Open up your shoulders. You can look forward or relax your head back. Let's take 3 more breaths. Wrap your thighs in, ankles together, feet to the floor. You've got 1 more breath. And sit back down, hips to the floor. Fish pose. Tuck your hands under your tush. It may be that they're sliding in like they're going into pockets on the back of your pants, then elbows to the ground. So your butt is on the ground, your elbows are on the ground. Then wrap your shoulders back, chest up, and relax your head back to the ground. Some of you may discover that you need to move your hands to the floor more beside your hips. So hips down for sure, chest up, head back. Just a soft, gentle farewell back bend. And then chin to your chest and come on out. Lie flat on your back. Hug your knees into your chest. Drop your legs to the left and then turn and look and reach to the right side of the room. Allow your body to be really long. Let it be very soft and easy as you make the turn toward Africa. can switch sides. Very gentle, like a fond farewell, softening. I'll take a few. We need them now. Come back to the center. Hug your knees into your chest. And then Shavasana. Stretch your body out long. Open your toes wide. Let your toes drop out. Somewhere nearby you, near your head, is an eye towel. You're welcome to use that if you like. Stretch your arms out wide, palms up to the ceiling. Arms wide by your sides, down by your sides, palms up to the ceiling. And that'll make your shoulder blades settle into the mat really comfortably. Do any adjusting that you need to do to be comfortable. Take a deep, deep breath in. And exhale through your mouth. Let the weight of your whole body sink into the floor. Deep breath in. Exhale. Allow the rigor to be stillness. A peaceful kind of stillness that has no effort. Take a deep, deep breath in. And exhale through your mouth. Inhale, and as you exhale, squeeze your fingers on your toes. Bring your knees into your chest. Roll over onto your side. With your eyes closed, bring yourself up into a sitting position. Sit with a tall spine. You have the perfect teacher. You were your own teacher. You had the perfect class, exactly what you needed right now, however it left you. From the space that you created, set an intention for the rest of your day. Inhale and sweep your arms overhead. As you exhale, bring your hands into prayer position at your heart. 3 more times at your own pace, we'll chant Om together. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath in and exhale through your mouth. Bring your thumb knuckles to your forehead center and just bow our chins in together. Just say Namaste. Thank you all so much for coming this evening. It was such a pleasure to have you all here. If you have any questions for me, I'm just here. I'm welcome you up to ask them. I'll be happy to answer. Questions about your practice, questions about things going on in the studio. Thank you for coming. Why is it so hot in here? It's so that it makes your whole body move around much more easily, but that's a good question.